Hey boys and girls, Ken Smith, KenSmithFishing.com. A couple videos we're going to get up for you this week. And the order we're going to do them for you is today we're going to show you a little bit about rigging on my new Z521c Ranger. I showed you a video earlier this year of a very poorly rigged boat, specifically the side scan imaging transducer. There's some ways to rig it and also to protect your investments. You know, we've obviously all got several thousands of dollars worth of electronics in our boat, and there's not a lot of great videos online that I've found talking about how to rig them. So my friend Lucas rigged my boat. We're going to show you some of the stuff we got from Transducer Shield and Savers folks, and also from the Bass Boat Technologies guys. Make some great mounts. So I'm going to show you those. We're going to show you kind of how Lucas laid everything out in the boat for me. And then also I have some Lowrance units that came with the boat for sale, so I'll talk about those briefly at the end of the video. So if you're interested in some Lowrance units, make sure and tune in at the end there. I got 2 for sale. That'll be a really good deal for somebody because I don't have a use for them. So we're going to show you those, and then later this week we'll get up practice from the Texas Team Trail, and we'll also get up the actual Texas Team Trail tournament, which was a very frustrating tournament for us, but I got some good footage on it, so we'll get that up for you. But first, let's jump over to some footage here in Rockwall, where Lucas rigged my boat, and we'll kind of walk you through what we did and all the different parts that went into that, getting it rigged where my investments in my electronics work well and are safe from getting torn up. So here we go. Let's take a look at that. Okay, so Ranger Z521, everybody's seen it. That's Lucas Barrientos, a friend of mine. Yeah. So Lucas is actually does auto hail repair, but he's also a really good fisherman, and he has rigged his own boats for such a long time. I trust him to rig my boats. So he rigged all of my electronics in my boat. We're going to walk you through what he did, because a couple of things are a little bit tricky, I think, but let's just start at the front. So we rigged up here. This is a really nice double mount, so we're going to have a 12 and a 9 here. That's a Helix 12 and a Helix 9. That is a Bass Boat Technologies bracket. This is so cool. So they just unscrew the little metal plate that comes in there. Lucas, how thick is that piece of aluminum right there?
About a 1/4 inch thick.
So it's a nice 1/4 inch thick piece of aluminum. It's interesting, if you've seen the Z boats now, this is actually cockeyed. So what I noticed is he put these slides in here so you can turn that mount. So even if your unit doesn't, if the front of your boat doesn't face perfectly, I guess, perpendicular with your fishing line, the way you fish down the boat, you can turn that thing. So I thought that was really cool. So we ran to the 10 unit, our Helix 10 unit is a simple GPS combo. It's going to be our mapping unit. And what we've done is we've just wired it to the Minn Kota Ultrex Universal sonar mount, right? But then we've got, okay, sorry. So this is a piece Lucas is going to install. It's made by these folks. It's the Transducer Shield and Savers. So that is a Humminbird off the 12. It's a down imaging transducer. Now when you buy a 12, it actually comes with a different style transducer, but Humminbird's got a great deal where you can actually trade your transducers. All I did is, because I'm always in a hurry, I just ordered the transducer, and then they give you a refund piece so you can send the old transducer back and you got a new one. This little piece Lucas is about to install, this is a, gosh, I think these are $150, $190, those transducers. This thing is just a really neat piece that the Transducer Savers folks have created. It's called a ram, and all it's designed to do is protect that thing. So we'll check it out. It just goes on a ring right there in front.
Let me turn this around.
So check it out. It just mounts right there, right directly in front of the transducer. So, I mean, that thing is solid. Anything that you hit now, rock, tree, bottom, which I hit all the time, just a little additional piece of protection, because once that breaks, that transducer's worthless. So that's very cool. That's a really inexpensive piece. It might have been $50, but I think it was even less than that. What you see here, so Lucas wraps our cord all the way up. And Lucas, so you've got an Ultrex. Talk about the way you rig that. So you've got to leave a pretty good amount of slack right there.
You need to leave a little bit of slack so that thing spins around, you know, pretty good amount. It doesn't pull that cable.
And you just check it first couple times you fish it to make sure it never snugs up, and if it does, you just pull some slack in it.
That's right.
Okay. All right, so inside right here, there's a tube. So Lucas takes our cables here. He takes a cable pusher or whatever you call those things, and he runs a cable all the way to the back. Now the Helix 12 units, so all the Helix units are internal antennas. So the only antenna on the boat is the magnetic compass antenna you need for your Ultrex. So all down the side of the boat, he's run the cables, and then up under the dash, see if we can see this. So I just asked him where the Ethernet box is. He actually installed it, and I'm sure you cannot see it, but all the way up under the dash, so it's protected from rain and water.
You can get to it from underneath there by hand if you need it to.
So you can get to it, unplug it. The only thing, by the way, so he was unable to link these because I forgot, with Helix units to the Ethernet cable runs to the units, and then you need something called a dongle. And no, that's not something dirty. It's just a little connector that you run in there, and it allows those Ethernet cables to connect to the back of the unit. So here's the tricky part. So actually climb up in there for a second, if you would, Lucas. So the 12 side imaging comes with a side imaging transducer. I'll show you more about that in a minute, but that transducer is mounted there. When you get up out of the water, you lose connection with that transducer. So you need a in-hole transducer. So Lucas got in here. What all did you have to pull out to get down there?
Just a battery and then the battery tray and the plastic that it comes on. That's it.
So how long does that take, do you think?
Not long at all, actually. It's pretty quick with the cordless stuff.
So you just pull those two out, then you
reach down in there and kind of sand a little bit with a little cordless sander the hole so that you can prep it for it, and then put some glue on it, sand a transducer, and just put it in place.
What kind of glue do you use to glue them down?
It's a Humminbird provided it.
Okay, so there was actually glue in the pack.
Yes.
Well, check, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
So there's an in-hole transducer there. But from that unit, so that's my running down the lake 2D, but I also want my 3D. So you buy a $39, it's called a Y cable. The Y cable allows you to hook two transducers to a unit without going to the Ethernet box. So we come back here, and that is the side imaging. Now you remember from one of my videos earlier this year, a buddy of mine had a very flimsy mount on a side imaging. This thing is seriously tough. So that is, again, the same folks, Transducer Savers. This is the mounting bracket, okay? So what you see is that transducer is fully protected end to end, and it's mounted flat side across the top. So it's fully supported with an L bracket. It's all one piece, and it's not more than a couple $100. Off the side, he's got the cable running right through here, and you've got the hydraulic Atlas jack plate. So check this out. Hold it. So now, when the motor goes, up and down, that thing is stable and never moves. It's mounted right there. It's not going to move anywhere, so you don't have to worry about any slack in this cord. It's just going to stay stable. So now on the 12 in the dash, we have an in-hole transducer down in there. We have our side imaging transducer right there. So I'm thrilled with it. He did a beautiful job. You also said the dash was a little tricky. Is that correct?
Yeah, we did some cutting. Had to do some cutting on the front plate, and had to do some cutting on the glass itself.
So just fiberglass cutting, basically.
Fiberglass, and then some aluminum cutting, yeah.
Okay, yeah, so this piece, now I think you can actually order this piece, this backing, with it pre-cut for that.
Yes.
But the Humminbird unit comes with a template, right?
Yes.
So you just draw it on there, etch it on there?
They all do, yeah. You pretty much just cut it out, draw it on there with a mark, put a bunch of tape over it first so you don't damage it. And then cut it out. I use a little air sawzall to cut that out. So.
Okay, I don't know if I was pointing at that your face, but if not, that's a good shot of Lucas's chest.
I got plenty of belly that did this.
Right. So it's rigged, we're ready to roll. We got electronics front and back. And Lucas, if somebody wants to reach out to you for some dent repair or dentless hail repair, or for some rigging or just troubleshooting, tell them how to reach you.
You can get me on my email, lucasbarrientos@yahoo.com, Lucas. Last name is B as in boy, ARRIENTES.
All right.
Yahoo.com.
Perfect. So there you go. He done a great job on mine. I'm thrilled, and me and the dogs. So by the way, in case you're wondering where the kids are, everybody's ready to go to the lake. All right, good deal. Okay guys, so as I mentioned in my video there just a second ago, I have 2 units for sale. I have a Lowrance HDS, you can see that as a carbon, that's the 9, and then I have a Lowrance HDS carbon, that's the 12. That one, they were both the non-transducer. In addition, I've also got that, which is a basic through hull that I believe is a 2D transducer. I would ask you to confirm that, but it does not have the downscan bundle. We have a 15-foot Ethernet cable, and then I'm pretty certain that that is the through hull temperature probe. So let me check. Hold on one sec. So I think grand total retail on those is I think that one's about $3,200. I think that one's $2,200 or $2,300, so $55, probably $5,600 total value there. I'll make somebody a really good deal on it. I have no use for it, so if you're interested in that, reach out to me and let's. I'd really like to sell it all together, but if I have to break it apart, I will. So if you have an interest in the 9, the 12, and the cables, and of course the power cables and the brackets and everything are in there as well. It's new in the box, never been used. You should be able to register it and have full Lowrance warranties on it. Just drop me an email, kensmithfishing@outlook.com, and I'm sure we can make a deal. Thanks, guys.